Philadelphia News, team of my heart.
You've been burned before. Bad trades, short-term fixes, empty promises. But now the Sixers hold the No. 3 pick finally, a shot to reset. So why are they even thinking about throwing it away? This Sixers news trade rumor might break you, or fix everything. You know what it feels like. That punch in the gut when you hear about another Sixers trade that throws away the future, just to chase some short-term dream. You've lived through it. Fultz, Horford, Harden, Simmons, every time they tried to skip steps. You're the one who pays with your hope. And now, just when the team has a rare chance to actually build, to actually use a top 3 draft pick, the first time in forever you hear this. A Sixers news trade proposal so wild, so reckless, you almost laugh. Until you realize it's real. Bill Simmons, loud as ever, suggests sending Kelly Oubre Jr. and the No. 3 pick your best shot at long-term talent to the Pelicans. And in return, Herb Jones and the No. 7 pick. Now ask yourself, do you trust that move? You've watched this team get stuck in a loop. Every season ends with pain and confusion. The big names never stay. The identity shifts constantly. All while Joel Embiid stays anchored in the middle, surrounded by revolving doors and short-term fixes. This isn't just another Sixers news trade headline. This is a test of whether Daryl Morey, for once, can stop chasing the flashy quick fix and do what you've wanted for years. Build a team that lasts. Because you know how rare it is to have the No. 3 pick. You don't land there unless something went really wrong the year before. And something did. A disastrous season. No chemistry. A team that quit in April. And now, when they have the asset that can actually flip the future, they're thinking about giving it away. Sure, Herb Jones can defend. You saw him lock down stars. But he's not a game changer. He's not the kind of player you pass up on elite young talent for. You drop for spots in a deep draft to upgrade defense slightly. You've been here before, and it didn't work then either. You don't want another win now band-aid. You want a plan, a foundation, something real. And with young guys like Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey, and that top 3 pick on deck, you can feel that future right in front of you. You just don't want them to throw it away. You've watched this movie 1,000 times. Morey makes a bold move, sells it like it's genius, and by next season, the team is scrambling again. It's not about Herb Jones. It's about a mindset. You know it. They keep chasing the shiny piece instead of building the whole puzzle. And it's exhausting. For you, for everyone who sticks with this team through the drama, the disappointments, the front office spins. All you want is for them to learn from their mistakes. You've seen the cost of rushing the process. You just want them to slow down and get it right. This draft, this is a lifeline. You earned this pick by surviving a miserable season. You stuck around through the injuries, the meltdowns, the blowouts, and now the reward is on the table. So, why are they considering handing it over like it means nothing? Imagine if they actually kept the pick, developed it, paired a young star with Maxey, gave Embiid the kind of young, durable, talented core that can grow. That's the kind of Sixers team you've been waiting for. That's what real progress looks like. So why does it feel like Morey's about to do it again? The Sixers news trade rumor isn't just noise. It's a warning sign. It's the same old playbook. Give up what's valuable now for a tiny upgrade. That disappears in tears. And you're left watching other teams pass you by while your franchise resets again. And here's the hardest part, this trade might actually happen. That's why you've got to ask yourself, are you okay with this kind of move? Are you ready to accept another shortcut, another promise, another swing and a miss? Or do you finally want to see this front office change? Leave your answer in the comments. What would you do with the No. 3 pick? You're smart enough to know when something's off. And let's be real, you didn't need to hear the full Bill Simmons proposal to feel that knot in your stomach. Because as soon as you heard Uber Jr. and the no 3 pick for Herb Jones and no 7, your gut spoke first. You know what that move smells like. Panic. The kind of panic that's disguised as confidence. That familiar feeling when the Sixers tried to sell you on a trade. That feels like a half step forward, but ends up being 3 steps back. That same front office energy that told you Al Horford was the final piece, or that James Harden would mesh perfectly, and every single time, you got left holding the bag. Let's break it down. Herb Jones is good, really good on defense, but good enough to be the centerpiece of a trade that costs you a top 3 pick in one of the most pivotal drafts in franchise history. Come on, you're not falling for that. Because here's what they don't tell you. This draft is loaded at the top. You've got difference makers, players that could alter the Sixers' identity for the next decade. You don't need to gamble. You already have the golden ticket. So why are you trying to swap it out for something safer, something smaller? This isn't just about one player. This is about mentality. The Sixers have been reactive for years. They've made moves to patch holes, not to build walls. And it's you, the fan, who keeps getting sold the same pitch. This trade helps us win now. But every time, the now turns into what just happened. It's painful to even think about. But let's remember what they did with Joel Okafor, with Markelle Fultz, with Jimmy Butler, with Ben Simmons. How many players came through this team and never got a fair chance because the Sixers were in a rush to make the playoffs this year? To make Joel Embiid happy this season? And then what happens? It all falls apart anyway. You know what's funny? Even the teams that passed on stars like Luka Doncic or Tyrese Halliburton probably still wake up with regret. But the Sixers, they keep making those decisions on purpose. They talk themselves into it. They convince you to believe, and then they rip the future out of your hands. And look, you're not asking for perfection. You're not saying every draft pick has to be a Hall of Famer. You're just asking them to try. To stop making desperation trades. To stop giving up long-term assets because they're afraid to trust the process of developing talent again. You know how rare it is to get a known 3 pick without a full rebuild. It means you failed. Yes, but it also means you got lucky. And in this league, you don't get many second chances. The Sixers blew through so many first-rounders. They finally have a shot to fix that. So why risk it if they trade down to no 7? You know what happens next? Someone at no 3 becomes a star elsewhere. It's the same script. Another player, another regret, another what could have been. Meanwhile, you're watching Herb Jones put up 9 points, play good defense, and lose in the second round again. And all of this leads back to one name, Daryl Morey. You've respected him for his boldness, but boldness can become recklessness when it's not backed by vision. He's a wheeler and dealer. But maybe what this team needs right now isn't a dealer, it's a builder. Someone who can stop flipping cards and start laying bricks. This off-season is different. It's not just about Joel anymore. It's about Maxey. It's about Jared McCain. It's about whoever you take with that no 3 pick. That's your core. That's your identity. Don't trade it away just to tinker around the edges. You're tired of watching other franchises commit to growth while your team keeps spinning its wheels. You've seen what smart drafting can do. Look at the Thunder. Look at the Magic. Look at the Pacers. Those teams believed in time, and now they're on the rise. So you've got to ask, are the Sixers finally ready to do the same? You're not anti-trade. You're not clinging to the pick just because it's shiny. But it has to make sense. It has to be worth it. And if a deal doesn't make you feel like you're getting a future all-star or a transformative piece, you walk away because you know better now. And this is where you come in. Are you ready to say it out loud? That enough is enough. That you won't fall for another win-now move that mortgages the future? Tell me in the comments. Would you make that trade? All right. Now it's your turn to step into the spotlight. You've seen this team rise, Collapse, rebuild, explode. Collapse again, and scramble to put it all back together. Through every draft pick, every press conference, every playoff heartbreak, you've been there. You've felt it all. And right now, you're standing at a crossroads, just like the Sixers are. Because this isn't just another summer, it's a turning point. The No. 3 pick isn't just a number, it's a symbol, a chance at redemption, a sign from the basketball gods that says, you've got one more shot to get this right. And if Daryl Morey fumbles it away for a short-term defensive upgrade, if he sells you on Herb Jones is the missing piece, just so they can tread water in the second round again, then what have we learned? You didn't survive the process just to settle for mediocrity. In a suit. Let me hit you with the truth. You deserve more than that. You've earned more than that. You stood through every Ben Simmons controversy, every Embiid injury scare, every awkward Tobias Harris contract debate. You stayed. You watched every single game. You fought for this team louder and harder than the front office ever has. So ask yourself, are you gonna let them throw away the best chance they've had in years to build something special? You know what the Sixers really need? They need courage, not recklessness. Not more analytics dressed up as logic. Not a press release trying to convince you that Herb Jones is better than the pick. Would have been. They need someone with the guts to say, let's build a real future. Joel Embiid deserves a real core, not just more plug-and-play pieces. Tyrese Maxey deserves to grow next to someone his age, someone he can develop with for the next 7 to 10 years. And you deserve to believe in something again. It's time to stop thinking about just this season. Think about 2027. Think about what the Sixers could be if they stop living in fear of development. Think about adding a high upside, top 3, talent who could grow into the kind of player you build around. A real identity, a real star, a real shot. But none of that happens if they pull the trigger on these desperate, smart-sounding trades that rob the soul of your franchise. They might get Herb Jones, but they'll lose what little trust you've got left. And you know what trust is built on? Consistency, vision, patience. Words that haven't existed in the Sixers front office vocabulary for far too long. So here's what I'm asking from you right now. Subscribe to this channel. If you're tired of being gaslighted by short-sighted trades, click the bell so you don't miss the next update when the front office makes its move. And drop a comment telling me exactly what you would do if you were Daryl Morey, sitting at that No. 3 spot on draft night. Because this isn't just Sixers news. This is your team's future, and it's about time you had a louder voice in it. The front office may make the calls, but you, the fan, you're the heartbeat. And right now, that heart is telling you one thing: don't trade the future, build it.